Talk about like those two experiences for you, and like just how everything went, especially on the app side of things, like your perspective on how this thing that you built from your ideas and all of our ideas being thrown on like a to-do list for you, and how you feel like it went.
I mean, I think it went great,
Have you gotten sleep yet?
Yes, I get sleep. I get good sleep. Usually, I try to get good sleep, except when we have event days.
Touche on that.
Just because of my sleep schedule is kind of the way of a programmer. A lot of programmers kind of stay up late, but yeah, a lot of staying up, pushing myself. I think I pushed myself on this one, like to my limits, and I like pushing myself. I like pushing the boundaries of my knowledge and all that stuff. But no, if to push an app out as fast as we did at this level, like this is like a premier level app, like something that works really well, was like an insane thing to do, I think. And I think we were able to do it, we made it happen.
There's a guy traveling and he just met a girl. And as a part of that, he was a little hungry and went into Taco Bell and he indulged. Come to find out that his girlfriend and them invited him to stay a little while, only to find out that there's a little rumble in the jungle, but he doesn't want to excuse himself, thus to embarrass himself. So he starts sweating. You sweat more than that dude.
Yeah.
Because homeboy, I tell you what, you work harder than he did on the porcelain when he got home. So, dude, you work harder than any 3-team hitch of horses, and that's only half a full hitch. Buddy, you're awesome.
I was doing something like, I just learned this phrase called 996. It's something that's happening a lot. It's happening a lot in Silicon Valley and like people that are working on like OpenAI and like on a lot of tech companies. But it's just basically working 9 to 9, 6 days a week. So that's what it's felt like the last month.
It's been a mandate in China to beat up the U.S. and anything that we're doing is they have implemented that for their workforce over there. So the
9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
6 days a week.
Those are single dudes.
Yeah. Well, a lot of programmers.
Sorry,
Well, it's true. Yeah, I mean, if I wasn't single, this Booth Bingo would be probably a month or two behind.
Oh my goodness! I think I could hear my wife already saying, "Are you gonna come to bed yet?" No. See you in the morning. Kind of.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. But no, it's a common thing that's been happening in like a lot of the tech world because things are just moving so fast and like
you got to get on top of that one for sure.
And I knew like just based off our research, it's like we're at the beginning of like no one has made anything like this yet.
Yeah.
What we've made. There's similar things that you can find, but not what we've got. And we saw
not.
that there was other things potentially coming online that were going to be similar to this. So
shutting them down, boys.
Speed is very important.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Elon Musk is one of my, persons I look up to in business as an entrepreneur. He's like one of the best entrepreneurs there ever was in history.
For sure.
And so like, just knowing that to move fast was important. Like we're going to break things, and we did break a few things, but like we're going to fix them,
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Well, I mean, like, we're constantly building and we're pushing things to the market fast and we're shipping and like I don't know, it's important to move that fast. I felt and like I was really determined, it's like we got to get this thing out there and get it going. And I'm still determined, we just added 30 things to my list on Saturday.
16 of those are mine.
Well, but I think there's something to be said, Andrew, and I'd love your thoughts on this. There's something to be said around innovating a very common practice where people are so used to how things have been, right?
Yeah.
And whenever there's an aversion to change even, there's still an innovation there. And to something like this, like it is in the event space where, the paper bingo cards were still a thing. And when you were looking at it, you couldn't find a digital bingo card out there. I mean, that's talk about that in terms of that level of innovation. Like when you were presented with this, what went through your mind knowing that innovation was there?
Well, first, there's just been like hundreds of things that I had to figure out. Like one of the first big things was, figuring out how to generate QR codes for every event, every single thing. And thankfully that was actually a really fun problem. So all of this has been super fun for me. That's the crazy part about it. Like I'm just having a blast. Like that's why I'm able to do that 996, it's not 9 to 9, but it's more like 3 to 3.
See, I have to pay you a huge compliment. I was at a lunch just earlier today. And I was actually showing Booth Bingo to this guy. He owns a networking group for business to business exclusively. I was showing him the back end. He goes, "What platform did you use to build this?" I was like, "Platform, platforms."
Yes.
I used
Kidding me?
one guy
Created the whole
to
thing.
like 800 different platforms
Well,
that you're running
we've coded
from.
it up, you know, and then
Yep.
we used, you know, like what is a platform? You know, I mean, with code, you know, we stand on the shoulders of giants. You know, Facebook uses some of the same technologies that we use. You know, so it's like other platforms are using the technologies that we're like the QR code thing. Actually, it's an open source thing. Like the ability to generate QR codes like that is because of an open source thing that someone has out there, and they've just let people utilize this, you know, open source software. A lot of software is open source. You know, Postgres, which is the one that Facebook uses, with handling their database. You know, like it's just there's so many, exactly like you said. Like we built it from scratch. I mean, you look at QuickBooks and you look at our software. They look similar. You know, like I mean, what I mean is like the back end is that robust and that powerful.
Right.
You know, like
It's a good point. I want to bring up one thing too, because I think it's super important. And I think I want our audience to understand this, but like the user experience.
Yes.
Because it's one thing to like, okay, you hear about an app, that's cool and all, but like, what does that mean?
Right.
And so like explain someone walking into the event, do they need to start somewhere? Can they start anywhere? What happens when they hit a vendor booth? Like kind of those like medial things.
menial.
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 We figured this out. I knew he was going to do it.
If we had a word of our group,
It took an hour to get through that.
it really did.
Months for me to get to it.
Marcus
but-
has been saying medial his whole life.
We had to chat
I just started
GPT
using the
this
word.
thing. We had to find out what word was right.
That and Claude debated. It was awesome. It was a
To my
firefight.
credit, no one else knew. You just questioned it because you thought it was mine. Okay, good.
I knew for sure. I knew it was wrong. I was just being polite.
As we all were.
Polite for
Perhaps.
that long. You've known me for 5 years. So talk about that experience. Someone coming to the event and them using that for the first
My
time.
mom always said, "Don't be correcting people." She never told me that.
Don't be correcting
Your mom
people.
did not say that.
Yeah. I bet she combined you and y'all. You and all is what it is, y'all.
Medial.
But yeah, the it's cool that you said UI there too, because you know it's not built on, you know, someone else's like platform, because we had to go in there and make sure things are working certain ways. So I had to go in there and program like you can scan any QR code at any event and it will take you to that event's page and get you to sign in, or you can go to the event QR code. Like for the ability for that each vendor QR code to do that wasn't built in. I had to go in there and program that into that. So it's like there's those small little things, you know, like on the back end, you know, with buttons, you know, if something takes like 2 seconds to load, which you see that in software all the time, even on Facebook, you know, some certain pages take a little longer to load because they have to populate, you know. So if that's happening, you have to have some kind of signal that lets someone know that something's going on, and you have to do that for every single button and every single thing and optimize for that. You know, there's certain things. I found out why the event page in the studio app, which is the one for the organizers and where you put the vendors, I found out why that, because at first it was going fast, and then I found out what happened and why that was taking literally up to 30 seconds sometimes for it to even load. It was just broken because it was trying to, I rebuilt how the demo event works, which is really a complicated thing because it has to go for every account and you have to make sure it's there. But I found out that was what was blocking the event button from loading, you know. So I just had to optimize it. I actually currently just removed the demo event and I'm going to fix it later.
So let me break it down this way. Like, give me a 50,000 foot view of someone using this app. So, because you've built something that's way more robust than what people can understand.
For sure.
You have an
That is
experience for
truth.
an attendee. That experience is your typical bingo app.
They walk in and they'll see the signs for Booth Bingo. If they don't, they'll see these QR codes.
Okay.
And you know, typically you would assume, you know, they'll ask, "Hey, what's this?" And then we're working on systems right now currently for that will hopefully train the vendors on Booth Bingo before the event starts.
Right.
That's something we learned on just this recent event. That's how
That's
early we are. We are developing so much stuff still currently.
but they can scan any booth.
They can scan any booth, and you know they'll ask the vendor, "Hey, what's this?" The vendor will tell them, "We're doing Booth Bingo. You can go," and they'll give them a little 2-minute spiel if you can go and scan these booths, get lines, and win prizes essentially. And so they get in the app and they scan that. They set up their account. They can set it up either through their Google account or just putting in an email.
Mhm.
I do think we're going to have to add in a confirmation, because if they don't confirm it and they accidentally spell their name wrong, or maybe just a double line to make sure that they spell their email right. Because if we don't have them confirm it, and we don't have that set up yet, but if we don't have that set up, then we may get certain emails that the vendors or any people like or people can't reach out to them because their emails. Just small little details.
This is
my God.
Andrew taking
Yeah,
notes on his
this is-
phone
this
during a
is really-
podcast that he's
In
like,
live,
oh, gotta
in
do
real
this.
time, in real
You're
time.
getting you're getting this at dinner at View House.
Yes,
Because this is
exactly.
exactly what happens whenever lights are down, mics are away.
Mhm.
And this is what our I love this, by the way, is that you guys interview businesses all over the place. And this is so meaningful, not just to me, but I imagine we all kind of have our special moment here of like, it's the team. It's our bros that we, that run booth bingo that say, hey, we're in charge of marketing, we're in charge of tech, we're in charge of sales, and we're doing those things together.
He had to think
And
of
we
something
get-
for me. What does he do here? What
You
does he do
You
here?
just get to look good because you look like me. So, but the concept is we get to share this to the world right now, and we get to explain what does this make up of, and how is this ultimately going to not only change how vendors are getting done, but now it immediately plants itself really deep in a beautiful footprint that no one can touch anymore.